Boo. Hi everyone, it's me, a warm coffee mug. I'm back. I know that it has been a very, very long time. I hope you were all comfortable, all snug in bed or on the couch or, I don't know, doing work. I know some of you said you like listening to my stuff when you're like drawing, for example, or writing. Credit to you. I can't listen to people talk and write at the same time, but if you can do it, good job. But hello, and I'm just going to ramble to you and hopefully help you fall asleep. This probably won't be edited too hard, so you're just getting the unfiltered, a warm coffee mug experience. So wow, where to begin? So I talked about why I had to take a break on stream. And don't worry, like nothing like terrible happened or anything. Like this isn't gonna turn into a ramble where I'm like, woe is me, my life turned for the worst. It's just a lot of stuff happened at the same time. Namely, it was my final year of college and just education in general. Like, it went from kindergarten to public school to middle school to high school to college, and then that's it. I was at the very last hurdle, and things were difficult because, so those of you who might not know, when I first started a warm coffee mug, I was studying for broadcasting and television at college, but to do that, I moved very, very far away from my original home because, oh god, how long ago was that? Because I'm 23 right now. That would have been about 5 years ago. So it would have been about when I was like 18, 17, because I turned 18 because my birthday's in September. So around when I was 17, I realized that I was way too dependent on my family to do everything. Like I never walked anywhere by myself. I didn't know how to, oh gosh, I didn't know how to cook or like do any basic housework. And I was like, okay, I rely on my family far too much to do everything for me, so I'm going to move really far away and study at a college really far away, so that way I have to learn to rely on myself, and that ended up being a really good call. It was also just an attempt to start over, like I was like, I'm going to become an adult and I want to start over and see what happens. And it was scary at first. I know some of you have mentioned that you're going into college or university. And if you're moving out on your own, then yeah, it's scary. Like you don't know what's going to happen. But everything kind of happens like one step at a time. Like you're not going to have a ton of unexpected stuff like just suddenly thrown at you out of nowhere. Like you'll have time to figure it out more likely than not. Like I thought if I walked to the front desk of my residence building and didn't know what I was doing, they were just going to throw me out immediately, which wasn't the case. They were very, very helpful. But anyway, so yeah, I moved far away, I was in a new town, and I was studying broadcasting, but all my friends were really far away, which was, a byproduct of moving, and I got a little bit lonely. And that was when I started listening to, ASMR, because it helped me sleep at night, but also I was a shy, lonely dude, and those audios really helped. And like a lot of other ASM artists, I got in. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, I got inspired by a lot of ASM artists that aren't on YouTube anymore for one reason or another. Ugh. Sorry, I just got a bit of a reality check there that, wow, a lot of the people I looked up to aren't on YouTube. But anyway, so that's when I started a warm coffee mug. And, well, I certainly didn't expect it to, like, take off in the way that it did. Like, I thought, yeah, I'll start off just, like, finding some scripts online, and then maybe if I ever get comfortable, I'll start writing my own stuff. But, I want to make, like, M4M and M4F versions, because, I want to help all like the lonely guys out there exploring their sexuality and the lonely girls out there that, need a kind word and everyone in between. And then, well, I don't remember exactly which audio it was, but I think it was the confession failed successfully audio that put me on the market, so to speak. But anyway, so 2 years of broadcasting, but when I graduated, excuse me, when I graduated, I didn't really feel like it was worth it. Because, I spent 2 years, but I was studying during COVID. So, we always had to wear masks, and the college was like dead quiet most of the time. Nothing was open. Like, the stores weren't open. The cafeteria itself wasn't open. And, like, people were only allowed to walk around to go to their, like, classes and nothing else. So I never really met anyone, and I just didn't really get along great with any of my classmates. Like, they weren't, like, mean or anything, that we didn't fight, but it's just, they were on a different wavelength, and a lot of them were, like, super huge, extroverted party goers, and that's just not really my vibe. And as a result, I was like, I didn't really get a good college experience, so when the lockdown lifted, I decided to apply for an acting program, because those were the two things I wanted to study, broadcasting and acting. I don't regret taking broadcasting. Heck, a lot of the reason why I can edit and record the way that I do now is because of what I learned there. So it wasn't a waste of time. The acting program was, oh man, if any of you are interested in acting or are theater kids, I remember I walked into it thinking, I'm already a good actor, I know what I'm doing, I won't have anything to learn. Oh my goodness, I could not have been more incorrect in my entire life. I learned so much in that class. Like, in college and university, you really learn a lot about yourself, but in those programs specifically, you really learn a lot about yourself. Anyway, so I was studying that for 3 years, and then it was the final year of college, and it was already, so my upload started slowing down in about October because the final year was very, very busy. Like, that year alone, I believe we had like 2 theory classes, but we did also have, like, we were studying a Shakespearean unit, but we were also doing like a play that we were writing ourselves. And the like play that we were writing ourselves was I ended up getting a semi-lead role in that. I was an important character, but I was only on stage for 5 minutes, so it's like, debatable. For Romeo and Juliet, if any of you were curious, I played Lord Capulet, which is Juliet's father, if I remember correctly, and yeah, that wasn't, and not my favorite role, but that's showbiz, But, so it was getting really complicated, and then to make matters worse, there was a fair bit of drama going on around the time, and then when the second half of the semester happened, we were only doing one single play, and I got the lead role in it, which was, really humbling, and, like, I was really happy, of course, but that meant doing, like, 8-hour rehearsals every day of the week, and then when I, like, immediately came home, like, I had to sort through, like, personal stuff, because I have a life beyond school, and eventually it just got to the point where I was like, okay, because I tried to, like, after class, like, do, a warm coffee mug, but I was super tired, and anything I wrote I just wasn't satisfied with, and anytime I tried voicing something, I was just always in a really bad mood because I was so tired and wanted to rest, and I was just like, okay, I don't want to upload something if I'm not enjoying it, because I want you guys to have quality stuff to listen to, and I feel like if I'm not enjoying it, you guys aren't going to enjoy it either, because, like, you can tell when someone's heart isn't in it. So I announced that I need to take a break, and that's what I did. And then, oh man, so when the play was over, we performed it for a couple of nights, and I have never gotten so sick in my entire life so quickly, because, like, we went through Tech Week, which to those of you who aren't theater people is a full week of getting up super early in the morning and staying at the theater literally all day, like from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. You're, like, building the show to say, which is, like, you aren't really able to use, like, lights and music and sound effects during rehearsal until Tech Week. So you get, imagine, like, doing an entire, like, play, but all you have is the lines and the movement. You don't get, like, your costumes or your set or your lights or your sound until a week before the show actually becomes public. So you got to learn all that really fast. So it was a full week of 12-hour days, learning the entire play again, doing it with like costumes and music and all that for the first time, with a set for the first time. And, well, your body kind of forces itself to stay relatively healthy because, you know that you got to tough it out to the very end. But then what happened was the moment it ended and I came home, when I walked through the front door, my body was more or less like, okay, we're done? Great. So here's all the sickness we've been holding back for a month. And just bam. In like 1 minute, 60 seconds, I went from feeling fine to I was flopped down on my bed. I was burning to death, but I was also like freezing cold at the same time. My whole body was convulsing. I had a massive headache and I lost my appetite. I was wobbling around. I was walking and oh god, my throat was super sore. And the only thing that's left over now, my throat still hasn't fully recovered. It's almost good, but yeah, it has taken a while to bounce back from that. So that's the most intensive thing I've ever done in my life, I think. That's not hyperbole. So I had to take some time to recover. So yeah, like I announced like, coffee mugs, I'm back. And then I got sick and I was like, coffee mugs, I'm sick. I can't do anything. So then I had to recover. And then I had to move out because I wasn't a student anymore. I had to, move out of student residence. So about a week ago, I moved into my new place. So where I currently am right now, I'm in my new place, but I'm not in my new room because there was a huge storm not too long ago that ended up causing some damage to the room I was going to stay in. So my landlord was like, okay, we're going to have to repair your room and that's going to take a long time. So we're going to put you in the spare room for now. So I'm kind of in a pseudo broom closet. Like if I talk over here, you can probably hear my voice echoing off the walls. And I haven't been able to record because there's been construction going on all day. Like I recorded a little bit of it early, like construction noises itself. It was still kind of quiet, but like I'll play some of the background right now. This is what it would have sounded like if I tried recording while construction was going on. Not terribly relaxing, and at the time when I recorded, there was just like some scraping and washing noises, but I remember like they have to use like hammers and drills and stuff, so there was like bam, 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 bam. Yeah, not terribly relaxing. Not that it mattered, because as soon as I moved in, we lost our internet. I don't know what happened, but our internet went down. I only just got it back like today. So I've been without internet for a while as well, so it's just been a cavalcade of like things preventing me from recording. It's been crazy. So I had to wait for that to come back online. So for the past few days, I've just been like, because I'm in the spare room right now, I haven't really been able to unpack. Like, there's no point. If I unpack, I'm just gonna have to repack it up and move into my new room. So everything's just in boxes right now. Like, my room is a huge mess. So it's a little uncomfy, but honestly, I'm just grateful I have a roof over my head. Like, I'm so lucky to have that. Moving out was really bittersweet, though. Like, moving out of student residence, because I'd been living there for 5 years. Like, that's where I started a warm coffee mug, and, I have a lot of really good memories there. And thankfully, I had help moving out, but it took a while because I lived on the top floor of the building. But now that I'm all moved out, it's really bittersweet because one of my friends still lives there. Ekabernie. She did the if any of you have listened to the oh god, what was the name? It's the I am not helping my case. It's the audio, like the theater, the shy theater nerd. Why am I forgetting his name? Theo. Oh my god, it was Theo's audio. At the very beginning, she played the teacher, just with a few throwaway lines. But yeah, she's still living in the student dorms, so technically I can go back there and visit anytime. But I don't know. It's such a bittersweet feeling going back, because I'm like, I want to move on, just like 5 years ago. But anyway, so yeah, so there was no internet, so I haven't really been able to unpack. I did have another show to go to, though. I wasn't. I was gonna take a little break from performing at shows after, getting that lead part. But one of my professors invited me to sing at basically a karaoke event. So I performed at that. It was just one song. My voice hadn't fully healed, but it was okay because I sang a song that was intentionally supposed to suck. So it ended up working out. It was pretty funny. But yeah, now I'm just I have written a couple of audios 'cause I did some writing while the internet was down. It was really hard to focus with all the construction going on, but I wrote some stuff, some things for YouTube and some things for Patreon because both of those I really need to catch up on. Um, so hopefully, unless something else happens, we should be seeing more stuff coming out soon, and I should be back on track. Right now we're kind of balancing, seeing if if the whole YouTube thing will work out or not. Because ideally, if I can make it work, like if I can, keep a consistent upload schedule, then I might be able to work from home, provide you guys with more consistent and more constant uploads, and I might not have to work a day job. But I might have to work a day job after all. And if that's the case, we'll see how that goes. So right now I'm just playing it by ear, seeing how it's going. I was also planning on streaming as well. I was gonna stream XCOM 2 because I got back into it not that long ago. XCOM 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my favorite strategy games, and what's really cool about that game is that you can make a lot of like custom characters. So there's this really cool thing I thought about doing where I could get like, you coffee mugs to basically submit like a character request, like a general description of like what you'd want your character to look like, a like nickname they have, what class they play, kind of like what I did with Darkest Dungeons. So we can have like an XCOM army of like coffee mugs. But I was like playing the game to get back into it, and I forgot just how badly RNG can screw you over in that game. So if I played it, I might have to save scum, and everyone's going to make fun of me if I do that, so maybe I won't. There was another game I think I am going to stream, which is Disco Elysium. It's a great, it's like a detective role-playing game, but it's like both equal parts. It can be really serious, but it can also be like really stupidly funny. There's a lot of like room to like experiment and play your character wherever they want. Um, I started playing it a while ago, but I never finished it because it was very complicated. So I think that might be a fun game to stream. So maybe I'll be, doing that soon as well. But yeah, when the internet went down, I just completely marathoned XCOM 2 for the past couple of days, among like other things. And another exciting thing, I don't know if any of you coffee mugs play tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons, but two things. So the group that I play like D&D with, about a year ago, we gave the Cyberpunk tabletop system a shot, Cyberpunk Red, and it's pretty good. We liked it quite a bit. We ran like an entire campaign with it, and everyone got like super into it, and we finished it back in September. And then during Tech Week, our like technicians advised us to bring a book to read because there was going to be like a lot of just waiting around for the 12 hours. And I had a rule book for Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, and it's just been sitting on my shelf for about a year, and I was like, well, now's as good a time as any to learn it. So I brought it to Tech Week, and I was just reading the rule book for Vampire throughout the entire Tech Week. So then me and my tabletop group, we started playing it not too long ago. If any of you are familiar with the system, so I'm running as a storyteller. I'm the one like running the game. In our group, we have a Gangrel, we have a Toreador, a Nosferatu, and a Tremere. And we're running it so that it's like, the cool thing about Vampire is that it can be like set in whatever city you want, but it's like recommended you set it in like modern day your town. So we have it set like in the city that we live in, and it's really cool. A little surreal. That took some getting used to. We have a game scheduled for tomorrow actually, so very excited for that. I just got some vampire dice today, and I'm very excited to try them. It took a while finding them. We had to walk all across town. Me and Ekabernie, we went on like a huge walk all across the town for like 3 hours, and we visited all like the local like games and hobby store, and we found one at the very last store. It was quite the journey. It was quite the find. But so the other thing is that I think I mentioned this a while back, but there is a tabletop system that I'm working on myself. I started working on it during that. I remember I made an audio where I was working on it. It was like, oh gosh, I don't remember the name. But basically, the listener was working alongside the speaker. You're both like working at the same time. I think it's implied the listener was like drawing, and I was like kind of loosely talking about the system. I was genuinely working on the tabletop system as that was going on. So, that's a little something I'm also building in the background while I'm working on a warm coffee mug. It was heavily inspired by a lot of things. It's like really inspired by like Ruby, RWBY, namely the first couple of seasons, and Xenoblade, well also Dungeons and Dragons, and some of the old systems I experimented on a while back. A little bit of Sword Art Online, a little bit of Trails of Cold Steel. It's huge hodgepodge of a bunch of different things. I can probably talk about it more in depth when it's like more refined. But one other thing I really want to do one of these days is run like a demo where I'll like get some friends together and they'll like play test the game, and I can like stream it and show you guys what I've been up to, because ideally this is something that I'd like to look into seeing if it's possible to publish. I know it's a pipe dream, but I'm thinking like, a decade down the line. Like, I don't know how tabletop games get published, but it would be really cool to, figure out if there's a way to do that. Well, I'm on the topic of publishing things as well. So a few people have run the idea by me of like selling a more coffee mug merch. I don't feel amazing about selling merch, like not to discredit the people that do it, but to me, I feel like that's kind of turning what I'm doing into a brand and not just like, it feels like I'm kind of losing sight of why I started doing it in the first place, the original intent, which was just comfort and helping people feel better. So I don't know about that. But admittedly, now that I've done some like thinking about it, I'm like, those little like doodles that I've done, the little like caricatures of characters, they might not make bad plushies. I don't know who I can like reach out to about that, but that might be a thing that I'll look into in the future. Be all like, can I turn Rave or Aaron or Claudia into small huggable plushies? That'd be kind of cute. As for what options I can take to do that, I don't know. Like, I think I know I've seen some YouTubers use, like Uwu Market, for example, but that's the only one I know off the top of my head. So, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, I assume. I don't know, are you still awake? Are you still listening? Yeah. Anyway, so that's where I've been for the past, month and a half. I still got a little bit more migrating to do because I got to move to my new room and then I can properly set up. Because that's another thing. I got really used to working with 2 monitors, but right now I only have 1 monitor set up because, again, not only do I not have a very big desk, but also there's no points in unpacking everything because I'll just have to pack it up again. So normally I have like my script on 1 monitor and my recording software on the other. But not only is this unscripted, but I only have 1 monitor, so I've just been staring at the waveforms for about 23 minutes and 54 seconds. Yeah. I know that, so I don't know how, not all my roommates have moved in yet. I'm gonna be living with a bunch of people. Hopefully, like, we can only pray that I'll get, like, moments of quiet. Maybe I'll have to record at night. But hopefully I get, like, moments of quiet to record. Because if there's, like, consistent, like, noises and, like, banging going on in the background or something, well, that's gonna be tricky. I don't know what I can do about that. So, I'm a little nervous. Like, the future's still uncertain, but, whatever problems come up, like, we'll deal with it. The first thing I gotta do is learn to properly, like, soundproof whatever room I'm going to be moving into, because I've got a lot of soundproof foam and not quite any ideas as to how to properly set it up, because in the past I just used a thumbtack to stick them to the wall, which is definitely not what you're supposed to do. But I just couldn't think of any alternatives because technically it was student dorms. I didn't technically own that room. I was just borrowing it. So, yeah, we'll have to look into proper soundproofing. Oh yeah, there was one other thing I was gonna stream, which was my friend Blood Striker turned Blackheart Academy. I mentioned this last stream into a visual novel that you can like actually play now. There's no ending because I never got around to like writing the ending. I wrote Cheryl's part and Lucas's part, and then that's it. I had to cancel the project after that. But the beginning has been turned into an actual like visual novel, like a point and click. So I was going to stream that at some point because I only saw the first 2 minutes before I was like, I want to stream my live reaction to this. I hope you don't hear my chair wobbling around too much in the background. I had to get rid of my old chair because it squeaked a lot. I'm sure you guys probably heard it. It was also a lot of sitting down sound effects. But one of the people that helped me moved out was gifted that chair because I was going to get rid of it. And he was like, I mean, if you're going to get rid of it, I'll take it off your hands. Which is what he did. But anyway, so I wanted to stream my live reactions to Blackheart, so Disco Elysium, Blackheart Academy, and then, I mean, that's all I can think of for streams. As for other audios, I'm not going to let you guys know what I'm working on, because chances are what I plan to work on is going to change tomorrow, because my opinion on what I want to work on changes constantly, so I can't make any promises, but there's a lot of requests, and there's a lot of things I want to do. So where we're going to begin with that, who's to say? Who knows? Oh yeah! And then so I was just thinking, after I record this, I'm going to start working on the thumbnail for this short audio, and, well, I say short, it's 27 minutes long right now, but, I need to get my mouse replaced, because I draw with a mouse, and the scroll wheel on my mouse is busted. Like, if you try scrolling with it, because on the drawing software I use, scrolling is how you zoom in, and I like zooming in a lot while I'm drawing, because, I need to, like, get in close to what I'm looking at, and, close to what I'm drawing. But when I try zooming in, what it does is that it will zoom in rapidly, and then zoom out slightly, and then zoom in slightly, then zoom out rapidly, and this is, like, literally just one little, like, twirl of the wheel, one scroll of the wheel causes it to, like, jerk around a lot, and it gives me a massive headache, and it's just impossible to, like, control. Like, just now, I, changed it so that the zoom feature is now assigned to the 1 and 2 buttons, but it's, like, not as precise as scrolling, so I needed to get my mouse replaced. I wasn't going to draw a thumbnail until I got it replaced, but, well, I can't keep slacking on this forever. And what happened was, when I bought this mouse, because my last one had the same problem, I got a warranty for it, because I was like, if anything happens, I'll buy a warranty, and sure enough, something happened. So I went to the store, and I was like, hey, I've got a warranty, could I get my mouse replaced? And they were like, oh, that's not how it works. You gotta contact the people on this number. So I reached out to the number, and they were like, oh, no, we're not the ones to talk to, you gotta reach out to the manufacturer. So I reached out to the manufacturer, and the manufacturer was like, oh, we're not the ones to talk to, you gotta talk to, like, this branch. So I reached out to the branch, and they were like, oh, we're going to assign you to, like, this person. So I went to that person, they were like, oh, we're going to send you to one of our AI chatbots. So they sent me to an AI chatbot, and the chatbot was like, yeah, you should talk to an actual person. And then the actual person was like, we'll get back to you at a later date. And then, like, a day later, I got an email going like, okay, here's the label, mail it to us. But this was, like, as I was working on the play during Tech Week, so I quite literally didn't have time to mail anything. And then right when the play ended, I got sick, and then as I was recovering, I had to move, so I didn't have any time to ship anything. So I think that label's expired by now, so I gotta get another label and then ship out another mouse. And while the mouse is gone, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So I legitimately thought if I had a warranty, I could just go into the store and get a replacement. In hindsight, that was like a really silly notion. But yeah, I didn't realize this entire process was what I needed to go through, so, yeah, a little PSA for anyone that got a mouse warranty. It's, not as convenient as I thought it would be. So I gotta work on getting my, mouse replaced so that I continue making new thumbnails for you lovelies. Although, I guess one little silver lining is that if I can't make new thumbnails, I can use old thumbnails, and that specifically leans me towards making continuations of old audios, because I know a lot of you miss some old characters. I don't know if you can hear my roommates walking around upstairs. I guess we'll see in editing. Is it raining? I think it's raining. I think it just started raining. Oh, that's really relaxing. I like the rain. It's very relaxing when it makes those pitter-patter sounds outside. Anyway, I have rambled on for long enough. I hope that while I was gone, you guys were able to find some other ASM artists or listen to other ASM artists to help you sleep. I'm sorry for being gone for so long. I really missed working on the channel. Like, being away from it really sucks. So, hopefully I can get properly settled in, I can get back into the swing of things, and, you know, like, get back into it all, because I miss this a lot. So, thank you all very much for being so patient. I really appreciate it. And I hope while I was gone, if nothing else, if you weren't able to find any other ASM artists, I don't know, my old content helped you sleep, or maybe you didn't need ASMR to sleep. Maybe you were able to just drift off on your own, in which case, good for you. I know a lot of people that envy you. But yeah, if you're asleep right now, then pleasant dreams. You probably aren't listening. But if you're drifting off, or, you know, you're just have this on playing in the background, thank you very much for your patience, your support, and your understanding, and for listening. I will see you all, hopefully, next time in an actual proper audio with a proper script and proper editing, and probably not a proper thumbnail because I need to get my mouse replaced first, but yeah. Alright, good night, coffee mugs. Here, I'll give you a little pat on the head before I go. Pat, pat, pat. Bye-bye.